On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way and our way.
After 16 hours of travel, we're finally on the trail at about 7:30 p.m. You know, this is our first experience with desert hiking, and what a change to have scrub brush and lots of heat and Joshua trees and just water sources that are not more than a trickle. This scummy mosquito larva-filled trough was the most water we saw in one place for about 50 miles. There were times we carried as much as 5 liters each to reach the next water source. A couple of times the planned water was dried up and the only option was to push on to the next one. Water sources were frequently just a trickle, and we had to collect it with either a cup or using a leaf just so as a funnel. Thankfully that we always made it to the next one. For being in the desert and being so hot, we saw an amazing variety of flowers. Many were variants of common mountain flowers that we're already familiar with, and others were completely new to us. About the only cell camera pictures that we took were of flowers, so enjoy the flowers since all of the really interesting video of our journey through the desert was lost when the GoPro was lost. At one point we even had video of us beating the heat by hiking in the dark many hours before the sun came up. Kern River was our first flowing water, and wow, what a delight that was, even though it was slimy green with algae. And the first encounter with civilization is coming up and includes a stop at Grumpy Bear's restaurant, which is renowned for its portion sizes, and this breakfast lived up to its reputation. Our first resupply is also here at Kennedy Meadows South, and we're with the bubble of hikers who started from the Mexican border about 600 miles south of us. Kennedy Meadows is considered the gateway to the Sierras, although there was still deep sand and desert for miles and miles after leaving Kennedy. We did not get away yet from the desert heat. After a couple of days, we started to have our first forests and granite and actually a little bit more flowing water. We started hiking through incense cedar, foxtail pine, yellow pine, and giant old lodgepole pine. Then after resupplying at Horseshoe Meadows, we headed up past Cottonwood Lakes, and our packs were just crazy heavy, loaded up with 10 days of food. This is our first time up high, with the camp being at 11,500 feet on our way up to New Army Pass. At this point, we've just done 100 miles on the trail. Camp was solid granite slabs with blow your tent over type winds. And this is the first of many high passes that we'll be crossing going north through the Sierras. June 12th, up and over New Army Pass, finally in the classic Sierras with their barren open granite. On the other side, we took a diversion to Soldier Lakes and Miter Basin. This wild basin was absolutely stunning and well worth the side trip that we took up there. Here we're heading up to a high basin called the Bighorn Plateau. John Muir called the Sierras the Range of Light, and from up here you can really see where he got his inspiration for giving them that name. Here's the start of our Forester Pass Day, which is the highest point on the entire 2,600 miles of the Pacific Crest Trail. It's a steady climb upwards until you see the high pass rising up right in front of you, and you ask, who in the world ever thought they could build a trail over that? But they did it, going slowly. We made it up at 13,200 feet. We did the hiker happy dance. When planning this trip, we've been worried about early snow, this early in the season over these really high passes. There was remarkably little snow, just this one little patch. Gave us some trouble because there was a deep gap between the path that you walked on and the rock wall, and I was worried about falling down inside there, but it all turned out okay. Walking in faith, Mark left packets of tracts in the food storage lockers, believing God's word would get to someone who was searching for truth and hope. And we did talk to a lot of needy people on this trail. From Kearsarge Lakes, we got up at 2:45 a.m. and hiked the trail by moonlight and headlamp. We had to meet our shuttle driver at the trailhead by 7:45 that morning and had a major pass to go over between here and there. We were getting a ride to Independence and then transport to Bishop to buy food for resupply. Kind of a long story involving a raccoon as to why we needed to go to Bishop for more food. Turned out to be the perfect day to be in town because it started out beautiful, but boy did the weather fall apart when we were traveling and shopping. Kept looking up at those high mountains and thinking, whoa, am I glad that today is a resupply day. It's great to be sitting on a bus along with a whole lot of other PCT hikers. Mount Williamson Motel in Lone Pine is our favorite hiker place to stay. It's owned by committed Christians, Doug and Laura Lynn, and they use it as an outreach to any needy PCT hikers who pass through there. Hey, it's our friend Lone Pine Kurt, the best shuttle driver east of the Sierras, if you don't stop to think about raccoons. June 20th, we went over Glen Pass at 11,900 feet. My journal says that I had 3 speeds that day: slow, slower, and catatonic. Yet we made it up and enjoyed lunch on one of the narrower summit ridges. It was perfectly trenched snow on the north side, and that was a huge relief. Then we made our way down to Ray Lakes. Our next big pass heading north was Pinchot at 12,127 feet, and this was our first full day of rain with some sleet mixed in. It was a little chilly. Then better weather and on to Mather Pass at 12,100 feet. There were reports of a tricky descent on steep snow on the north side. However, we made it down just fine, even though there were a couple of white knuckle spots on the way down. Yahoo! We are at the halfway point. So our next big event was the 4,000 foot gain up beautiful LeConte Canyon with all of its flowing waters and meadows, which gave way to barren rugged rocks, reaching Muir Pass at 11,900 feet. This was our snowiest pass, and all of that snow made for a pretty slow slog. The high Sierras have amazing sun cups. And what we couldn't see was the big black thunderstorm brewing just on the other side of the pass. Saw this bad boy when we got to the top. Ended up descending through hail, sleet, flooded trail, and high winds. Being thoroughly frozen, we camped at the first possible spot. Then the clouds cleared away, and it was beautiful. Here's the stunning and renowned Evolution Basin area of the John Muir Trail. 2022 was a low snow year, and crossing the outlet from Evolution Lake was actually pretty straightforward and easy. We've done it in other years when it was a lot more intimidating. It's a 3,300 foot drop from Evolution Basin to our resupply at Muir Trail Ranch, which of course meant having heavy packs again. After loading up, it's uphill again to Selden Pass and Silver Divide.
Well, here we are at Silver Pass Divide, just barely below 11,000 feet. And there's Big Chief Lake, Papoose Lake, and Gooddale Pass is over there somewhere. Then way in the distance is Isberg Pass and the range near Lower Ottaway Lake. And there's the Ritter Range, along with it the Minarets. We'll be there in a few days.
Trails in the Sierras are well known for being rocky, and this here is a classic example. And trust me, there was lots and lots of rocks like this. We find that downhill is a lot harder than uphill when it's rocky too. The passes were less and less high the further north that we went, so we happily made our way to our next resupply, which is at Red's Meadow, just below Mammoth Lakes. At Red's Meadow, we were able to take showers, do laundry, and eat a generous amount of delicious food from the grill. We left the PCT JMT for a side trip to Lake Adiza, which was well worth it. There were no people and amazing views of the Minarets and Banner and Ritter peaks. We celebrated the 4th of July by completing 300 miles on the trail, and after that making it to the very popular Thousand Island Lake on the John Muir Trail. We did a side trip up quite a steep trail with snowfields to the desolate and very beautiful Murray Lake. We did not see even one person the whole time we were up there. Then it was back to the Crest Trail, which I call the LA freeway of hiking trails, and over Donahue Pass and into the Yosemite area.
Yep, all packed up and ready to go just as soon as I knock the ice off of my pack. That makes getting up in the morning a little harder. And then there's the guy in shorts knocking the ice off of his pack. Ha!
Dawdle Meadows has a shoebox-sized post office to pick up resupply, grocery store, and an abundance of tourists. One of my favorite places in Yosemite are the cascades and waterfalls that you find all around the Glen Allen area.
Hey, we're at Glen Allen. Camped here last night. Where are we going next? Down Cold Canyon. So beautiful day, beautiful waterfall. We were here 8 years ago.
And now we're going to Miller Lake, 11.5 miles from here.
Woohoo! Let's head out. Head 'em up.
Bye.
Every hike has to have a few blood-sucking bugs in it, or you just don't feel like you've truly had a wilderness experience. Hiking the section between Tuolumne Meadows and Sonora Pass was kind of anticlimactic after the high Sierras, but it was still pretty, it was great exercise, and we had good weather. It did involve more rocky trail and more passes to go over with names like Basin, CV, Buckeye, Kirkwood, and then finally Sonora Ridge. Desolate Sonora Ridge is the last uphill of the trip. These 10 miles are known for summer electrical storms, and we gave thanks for blue skies at the end of this amazing journey. Kennedy Meadows North is a genuine horse packing operation and one of our favorite stops on the Pacific Crest Trail that I've been to a few times before. They have everything PCT hikers could need. Great shower and laundry, wonderful food in the restaurant, and very nice accommodations. Now it's time to head home. My sister picked us up at Sonora Pass, took us back to Reno so we could fly to Montana and I could start repacking for the PCT in northern Washington.